Broadcasting live from sunny South Florida, this is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. Your KMA crew, the Italian Scallion, Paul DeGracco, Alex Tavella, a.k.a. The GOAT, and always telling it like it is, Honest Abe.
I like to smoke them like the Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Good morning. Happy New Year, and welcome to all our loyal listeners, libertarians, and lovers of the leaf. I'm your host, Honest Abe, with my trusty cohorts every Saturday morning, the Italian Scallion himself, Paul DeGracco.
Hi.
They call the GOAT, who's like in super chess mode.
Super chess mode.
Like,
Is he playing right now?
He was playing this morning when I walked in. That's all he's talking about the last 2 days.
King's rook to queen's bishop 3, man.
You almost sound like you know what you're doing.
I've played chess for years, but I'm not good like that. I don't understand any of that crap.
I'm a very good uninformed player, but I'm making myself an informed player.
It's a hard game. It's an easy game to learn, a hard game to master.
No green screen today. No backdrop.
I don't even know where it is, dude. It is. I mean, if nobody knows, we have a mega bash going on tonight for Abe's 50th birthday, but it's insanity back here. I don't know where the green screen is. Who knows where they moved it? I looked for it. I couldn't find it. So I'm slumming in the back. Let's at least
To put something pretty back there.
The garbage
at least get rid of the trash can. Yeah. I have no idea where the green screen is. It's insanity. There's shit everywhere. Construction going on out front. I don't know. For a guy who doesn't like birthdays, this is going to be a hell of an event tonight.
It's only the second party I've ever had in my whole life.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I believe it.
You didn't have birthday parties as a kid? Oh, wait, that's a stupid question.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
No, I mean, we really didn't. Culturally, they didn't celebrate birthdays growing up.
You said that. I could see your dad.
So it was like
another day, go to work.
We got a cake, and our 2 first cousins came over to the house, and that was kind of pretty much it. We got a little money, and that was our birthdays. So when I was 30, I actually threw my first party ever, and it was pretty epic, actually. And what's funny was Brandy and I weren't dating at the time, and she blew me off that party.
You told me this.
You mentioned this once before, yeah.
Yeah, I called her up drunk. I'm like, "Where the hell are you?" We weren't dating. She was like one of my friends that I was, trying to date. But yeah, she blew me off. I still hold it against her, but I guess this was her way of making it up. So she literally insisted on throwing this party today without realizing really how much chaos, and just January and February is never a good, easy time of year for us. It's just not, that's our lives now.
I have your gift sitting right here, actually.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm looking at it.
This is literally my first cigar in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You haven't smoked for 2 weeks?
Bro. That's fucked up.
Why is
you went over the top. How do you
Me?
go over the top? Yeah, that's over the top. That's over the top.
What? A 2014 Las Calaveras?
I mean, come on, man. You didn't grab 2. You're going to go that over the top.
I didn't grab 1. I told Rob grab me 1.
That's way over the top. It's my favorite cigar in the vintage room.
Is that true?
100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to come back from not having a cigar in 2 weeks, you might as well make it a doozy.
I'm calling the front desk. I need one.
Call them up.
Call them right now. See what they say. Call them on the air. I want to see who answers.
All right. On the air. Let's see if we can hear it.
Oh, we'll hear it.
So, Paul, what did you end up doing for New Year's?
Nothing. We went to dinner. My parents were here, so we ended up going to dinner and came home by 11 o'clock. We were beat. Almost fell asleep on the couch.
Yo.
Yo.
Yeah.
I need you to bring me what you brought Abe, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Wow, not even a question. No, wait, now the call goes to Abe.
As long as I name
Abe.
drop, I got to name drop it. You know,
Abe, should I get him one of those? Is that okay? Abe's getting a text right now.
He'll probably text me.
Yeah, that's all we did, man. What about you?
Oh, we were coming off of COVID Christmas, so we just quiet evening in the Babna household. In fact, you know what we did New Year's Eve? Me and my daughters, we watched the whole Cobra Kai season.
Oh, dude, everybody's been talking about it.
You know, they've done a really good job of the nostalgia factor and bringing in the characters from the past and whatnot. You know, I mean, look, the show's a little cheesy. I mean, it without a doubt is.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it at all.
It's uber cheesy, and they're really good at keep flipping, you know, sides, and they're about to make peace, and they'll make peace. But for guys like us, is it super nostalgia? Absolutely. But what I find amazing is my daughters are so into it.
Thank you.
There he is. You're
Did he
good,
bring
Rob.
it?
We're good. Sorry.
He was checking. He was getting on the screen to check with Abe.
So my question, Abe, is: so your daughters are into it. Did you take them back first or take them back after?
Well, I think they saw. I think what happened was before Cobra Kai came out, they saw the new version of Karate Kid.
There was like a dopey Will Smith's son or something. Version.
Yeah, but then we also made them watch the original. But they only watched the first one of the original. So, this season bought Silverback, and they never saw the third Karate Kid, so they didn't really get that character reference. But they still enjoyed the hell out of the whole season. But we literally watched the whole season in one night.
That's the chick. The girl Karate Kid?
No, Silver was the guy in Karate Kid 3 who came back and kind of opened up Cobra Kai and started training Daniel and took Daniel away from him.
Okay. Wait, which was the one with the girl?
Which girl? There was a girl in every one.
No. That was she was the Karate Kid. There was a girl Karate Kid.
Oh, I don't remember a girl Karate Kid.
Oh, she was hot too.
The Cobra Kai guy.
We were supposed to get him on KMA.
I was going to say he's a big cigar guy, right? He's actually
we were supposed to get him on KMA. We were working on it. I got to follow through on that.
Vinny.
Hilary Swank was the
Hillary
Karate
Swank
girl. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why she was hot. Yeah, that was a good movie too. You know, maybe I shouldn't even say this because I get made fun of every time. But Ralph Macchio is a Long Island guy, and I've met him a couple of times. He threw out first pitches at the baseball team I worked at.
He just seems like such an awkward guy. Like every time he does karate, he just looks so like absurd.
And grown up, he's awkward. Like it's a strange.
He's just an awkward guy, right?
Yeah, he grew up weird. Super, super nice, but still has the same voice he did when he was a teenager, and his voice changed. So like, it still sounds like a young kid's voice, but the guy's like 43 or something. It's strange. But he's a really, really nice guy. He was a big supporter of what we were doing over there. So it was cool to meet him. And obviously, I loved the movies as a kid. My brother was obsessed with Karate Kid.
Alex, what did you do?
Oh, please. He did nothing.
He went to the bathhouse. The bathhouse is reopened. We're all happy.
On New Year's Eve?
No, I went to the bathhouse the day after, the 2nd, January 2nd, I went to the bathhouse. New Year's Day.
What did you
do for New Year's Eve?
I made it past midnight, which is a fucking party in itself at this age. You know, I stayed up till 12:30.
At this age,
on the couch with the kids. See, here's the thing:
you let your kids stay up for midnight?
Yeah, our kids stay up to watch the ball drop. Absolutely.
Even the little one was up.
Fuck
New Year's
that.
is very.
My kids were in bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock that night. We did a fake
very
New Year's.
different down here. It's very different down here.
Yeah, there's fireworks. That's one.
No.
We had fireworks.
Oh, yeah, we never had fireworks.
New Year's in Philadelphia is different than pretty much the rest of the country. Because New Year's Day, you guys don't do shit, which is very strange for me. New Year's...
No, that's a hangout day.
No, New Year's in Philly is the Mummers Parade, which is like the biggest party of the year, and it goes on from the morning till night. I mean, super Mardi Gras type parties, parades. It's the Irish guys hang out with the Italian guys. It's weird. We're all in their neighborhood. I mean, it's a whole bash. It's a whole day full of bash. That's the big day where everybody, like here, it's like, oh, we're all drunk and hungover and, you know, we're partying.
after you're hungover from New Year's Eve, you
You're
rally.
not hungover
all
if
night.
you just stay up and muscle through it, Paul.
My kids have their whole like grape champagne bottles ready to go, or their apple cider, whatever it is. We have a good time usually.
But like Abe, when your kids were my age, you didn't keep a 3-year-old up till midnight, did you?
Well, we had 4, so one of them was 3, sure. But what's funny is one year we were all staying up, and I think Zara was the youngest at the time, probably around 3 or 4. And I woke up literally like 10 minutes before the ball was going to drop. We had all fallen asleep on the couch except her. She was the only one still awake.
Yeah, mine were tired. We put them to bed. I mean, my parents were here. I was literally sitting up in our den with the lights off and the TV on. We said, all right, the ball dropped. Good night, everybody. I walked the dogs and we all went to bed.
Well,
sorry, I had to plug my internet in. But Marissa actually has a New Year's tradition that I wasn't aware was a thing. Sci-Fi Channel does Twilight Zone marathons all New Year's Eve.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Original. So, I mean, that's what's on for her.
I didn't know she was a Twilight Zone buff.
I think maybe it's just something her family did, but every New Year she's all about watching the Twilight Zone.
Great show, man. You can find, I stream them sometimes.
So, since we kind of touched base on shows and movies, it's a good time to queue up. We have a very special guest today coming on before our Meet Your Maker segment. It's an old, dear friend of mine. Many of you are going to recognize who this is. He is one of the founders of Drew Estate. And after they were acquired, he kind of retired from Drew Estate and has been very busy doing a project, which I'm not sure if he ever thought he would ever do, but the project's coming to fruition and it's time to talk about it. So let's bring on Marvin Sammel.
You hear me?
Nice touch.
Well, he was
spotlight feature. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, he was on, but then he disappeared just now. He picked up his phone and turned it off.
Did he just leave before we?
Yeah, he was on. He was ready to go, and I added him to the stream. I played the spotlight feature, and he said, "Can you hear me?" And then disappeared. So, well, I added him to the stream. How is that my fault? Listen, all the comments are going to be saying right now. Watch, I'll see it. Good job, Paul. Good. Here he is. Here he is.
Who's the producer?
He's back.
It's my fault. I pressed the wrong button over there. Sorry, guys.
That's hilarious.
Thank you for taking the fall.
And then he's gone.
Can you dummy-proof this system a little more for people who are slightly challenged?
It's about as simple as it gets, buddy.
I don't know, but first things first. Excellent T-shirt.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that.
So, are you currently now at your home in South Florida?
I'm in the home that Acid built. Yes.
I'm in the home that I like that. You should have a sign in your house, the home that Acid built.
Yes, I'm no longer in a walk-up with 5 of my employees sleeping on sleeping bags because I couldn't afford to pay them, with some undesirable characters after me because I couldn't make the weekly vig.
So, Marvin, you've been quiet for a lot of years. You had a lot of fans during your tenure in the cigar industry. Why don't you little bit catch up our listeners on what you've been up to since you've left Drew Estate?
Absolutely, Abe. And first of all, I want to say happy birthday, brother. I was a witness to the birth of Kiss My Ash, and it's incredible watching what this has become over the last 10, 11 years now.
10 years. We celebrated 10 years last year.
Unbelievable.
This is 11,
brother.
yeah.
So proud of you, my friend.
I think you guys were one of our first or second guests.
I wasn't first. I didn't make the cut, but we were your second guest on your show. And it's been about 7 or 8 years since I've been on the show. So in 2014, we sold Drew Estate. It was a bittersweet moment. At the time, my wife Netta was pregnant. Nobody knew this, but throughout the sales process, my wife Netta was pregnant with our twin girls, Talia and Ariella. And it was a tough pregnancy. They were born in March, should have been the happiest time of our lives. 6 weeks after the birth of my girls, my mother was officially diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And it threw me into a tailspin. And the combination of, for the first time since I'm 11 years old, not waking up with a daily purpose in life, and my mom's situation, a friend of mine, his name is Mike Copperman. He's the legislative director of Cigar Rights of America, said, you know, Marvin, you tell all these stories. You should memorialize these stories. So as Abe knows, when I would host cigar events, I'd work in like a tight 5 or a tight 10, just telling different stories other than my cigar blends and the history of my company. And usually they gravitated towards crazy stories about my father, Mordecai. So I took these stories, wrote them down, and I looked at them and I said, you know, I think there's something here. I don't know what, but there's something here. So right around that time, my dad's 20-year-old Motorola flip phone tied together with electrical tape, tin foil for where the antenna should be, finally dies on him. So I take him to the Apple store and I get him an iPhone. He gets handed an iPhone and he's like, what is this? Where are the buttons? And my father's a Holocaust survivor who's living in the world today, a retired plumber, painter, etc., from Brooklyn. And I said, so a month later, I hooked him up, by the way, with lessons from one of the young girls from the Genius Bar. I slipped her a little something. Hey, do me a favor. Take care of my pop. I come back a month later, and my dad's running court. He's holding court, telling stories to these young men and women. And at this point, he's calling them the Einsteins. He goes, Marvin, come here, meet the Einsteins. I go, no, it's the Genius Bar. He goes, whatever. So I'm like, holy shit, this is it. This is the impetus for how to tell the story of my father's life and of my family. So I started writing. Took me about, I got to about 30 pages. I'm typing on Microsoft Word. I've never written anything other than copy for Drew Estate. So I got stuck. And after a journey, I found a gentleman named Rudy Gaines. And Rudy has worked on Academy Award winning films as a script writer.
Is it us or is it just me? Is it him?
Did we lose you? Marvin?
I went out.
Oh, he's coming back. Here he is. Okay, sorry. We got you. You clipped out for a minute.
Yeah, my internet sucks. So let me move closer to the router. Sorry about that, guys. Move a little closer. So
Academy Award winning scriptwriter. That's where we were at.
Yeah. So Academy Award winning scriptwriter, acting as let's call it a script doctor, which is well known in Hollywood. So I brought on a gentleman. His name is Rudy Gaines. We crafted a script together, and now I've got a script. But what does a script mean? So I ended up searching for a producer. I'm in a cigar shop here in Boca. I meet a guy who I became friends with. He reads my script, loves it, introduces me to a woman named Dahlia Heyman. Dahlia is a Hollywood producer, writer, etc. She loves the script, comes on board, brings on our executive producer, Alan Bain, and we ended up bringing on one of the most talented casting directors. Her name is Avi Kaufman. She basically said, you know, Matt Damon, you're going to be Jason Bourne. Denzel Washington, you're going to be an American gangster, etc. She's the casting director for Billions, Succession, etc. She came on as our casting director. And the next thing you know, I'm at 94th and 2nd at Nick's Pizza in a meeting with Judd Hirsch. And I refused to take no for an answer. And Judd came on board to play my father, Mordecai. So Judd Hirsch portrays my father, Mordecai. Carol Kane, the great Carol Kane, portrays my mother, Fella. Sean Astin is me. And Tony Award winner Stephanie J. Block plays my wife, Netta. And we filmed in Miami. Everything was on location. Every shot that we selected had a personal meaning to my family and I. And we filmed in November and December. And guess what? Your boy is in the movie. Abe DeBabna plays himself, along with Christian Aroa, along with Eric Espinosa, along with Ryan Leeds, along with Jeff Borshowitz, playing themselves in a scene that's my love letter to the cigar industry. And this, it basically is a diary of my life in 2015. And it covers a fictionalized version of Marvin selling his little company, his little cigar company. So cigars are intertwined throughout the entire film. And I think you guys will love it. We finished the film back last May, and we were selected to open the 2022 Miami Jewish Film Festival. It's going to be outdoors here this Thursday, coming January 13th, at the Bandshell Amphitheater, 650 people under the stars, and we sold out in under 2 hours. I couldn't believe it. So wow. Abe will be there. Abe,
you're muted, Abe.
You're muted,
Abe.
Abe.
We can't hear you.
I just want to tell our fans, Marvin's been very nice enough. He's giving away 2 tickets to this premiere. Now, is that the? I don't know. I didn't look at the date, Marvin. Is that the premiere for the 13th?
So for the 13th, I'm giving you guys 2 tickets to give away, however you want to. And then, hold on a second, Abe.
Okay.
So once we sold out so quickly, the festival calls me and goes, "How would you like to have an encore presentation?" So we're having an encore presentation outdoors in Aventura. They rented out a parking lot, and they're bringing in like a 5-story screen. And I'm told they can fit up to 1,200 people. And we're more than halfway filled on that one as well. So tickets are still available. Go to iMordecai. Is it iMordecaiMovie.com? I don't even know my own website. Just go to my handles. Marvin Instagram, Marvin Samuel. You can find the handles.
You got to call your girl to find out what your handles are.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's Marvin Samuel. I know my handles, and it's iMordecai. The handles are iMordecai Movie, and the website is iMordecai.com. So you can go buy tickets. I think you're going to love it. If you're a cigar head, this is a film that captures the love, the romance of what, through my eyes, of what being in this incredible industry has meant to me.
Well, for us, and obviously, for us being friends, but just for this industry in general, I think it's going to be this is really a historical landmark movie. We wanted to get you on to talk about the premiere. My wife and I will be at the premiere.
I know.
So if
you're VIP, local, bro. VIP.
If you're local and you want to come down to this movie, just comment in the comments here of this show that you'd like to come to the premiere, and we will do a random drawing this weekend or Monday morning, and we'll give away 2 tickets to somebody who can come down and be one of the first people in the world to watch iMordecai. So now I believe we have a little clip of the movie, Paul.
Yeah.
Martin, do you want to set up this clip? Do you know what the clip he's playing? Oh, there he goes. He's back.
There he is.
I'm gonna go mobile to be closer to my router. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you know what clip he's playing, Marvin? You want to set it up?
Is there a clip?
It's the bocce. It's the bocce clip.
Oh my God, I had no idea. All right, cool. All right, so I guess we're playing a clip.
Okay, go ahead. Run it, Paul.
Why, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Samuel. Mr. Samuel, I was hoping to see you. I want you to enter the bocce ball tournament at our annual community festival next month.
Thank you, Mrs. Campbell, but I no play bocce.
Oh, but Mordecai, it's going to be so much fun.
No, I was quite an athlete when I was younger.
Oh, I can tell. So strong. Did you ever play anything professionally?
Enough of this nonsense. I only going to tell you this once. You stay away from my man. You buried 2 husbands already. You're not stealing this one. Mordecai, we go.
It's not for me.
That's great. That's great.
So yeah, Carol really, really embodied the spirit of my mother. May she rest in peace. My mom passed. I tried to get this movie completed before the end, but my mom passed 2 months before filming, and I had a decision to make. Do I take the time to process this, or do I move forward? And I know what my mother would have wanted. So we moved forward, and this this movie is dedicated to my mom.
Wow.
And,
well, sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
It looks like my kind of movie for sure.
Yeah, my father was on Kiss My Ash once. My mother was lost once, and she ended up walking in on Abe's show. I have a picture of that at the trade show. And Abe and his wife Brandy knew my mother very well, knows my dad, and it's a family affair. It's a family cigar industry affair, and we're about to go. I'm being represented by CAA, who's taking this worldwide, and it's been, going from being a cigar maker to a filmmaker. Obviously, isn't the natural course of progression, but I always knew I was a storyteller. But I didn't know that this was, as Abe said, I didn't know where this journey would lead us. We at first tried to find a director, and we went to a couple of well-known directors. It just, the vision wasn't aligning. And finally, Dahlia and Alan call me and say, we found your director. And I'm like, who? They're like, you. I go, get the fuck out of here. I've never been on a film set before. So they stood by me every step of the way, the entire cast and crew, knowing how I had no idea at first what was going on. So they rallied around me, and my job was to stay true to the vision. And I'm a director at this point.
Well, listen,
Marvin, one quick question before he goes. Has your dad seen the film yet?
Yes, he has seen it. And
does he like how he's portrayed?
Well, when he watched it, there's a scene of a story I tell often called The Plumber and the Painter. Abe knows it well. And after seeing it, I have him on video. I'm like, so what do you think? He goes, The Plumber and the Painter, I say funnier. So he loves it. He loved the film. And I did this to honor my parents. I didn't do this with any commercial thought in mind. And
that's amazing.
Thank you, guys.
No, we definitely want to get you on to talk about the premiere, and hopefully down the road we'll have a whole show.
Once this,
I'm sure I'm going to get asked a million times, because people who don't make it to the premiere, do you have any idea when and how this will be available to the public to view? Because I already see the comments being asked.
No fucking clue.
No.
Right now, the goal is, and that's why I'm so excited about these two showings, because it's going to be our first test. I've screened it for a number of people. It's tested through the roof. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but the film really, really is impactful in many ways, and I believe that sometime this year in 2022, after a 7-year-long journey, you guys, the world will get to see it. I don't know where.
All right. Well, we'll get you back on when we find out, and we'll let everybody know when that's happening. In the meantime, if you want to go to the first premiere, January 13th, and check it out, I'll be there. I think maybe some of our guys might be there. Just put in the comments you want to go to the premiere, and we're going to give away 2 tickets. And Marvin, I'll see you next Thursday. And before I let you go, just one thing I want to share with you. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got one.
He's got one. He's got 5.
I probably got 5, but this is the best. This is the best one, because we were going to pick up a pie in South Beach. We were Brandy and I were going to go pick up a pie, and I'm like, let's just drive. It was like a mile away. He's like, oh, it's beautiful. Let's just walk. I said, Marvin, it's gonna rain. He goes, it's not gonna rain. It's impossible. I said, bro, it's gonna rain. Let's just drive. No. So he goes, if it rains, I'll put you on my back and run back.
That's what
sure enough, man, we didn't even get to the pie shop. Things started pouring.
Abe really, really fucking hated me in the moment. He really did. It was horrid. We were walking
Not only are we drenched, now we got wet pie.
Walking down Collins Avenue, and Abe's wearing flip-flops, sloshing around. So yeah, that was one of many.
Marvin and Sal Fontana were the creators of this betting thing.
Correct.
Marvin.
Oh my God.
That's where it's at right now.
Amazing.
All right, Marvin, thanks for coming on.
Love you guys. Brother. Love you, brother.
Big congratulations. Very excited for next Thursday. We'll see you there.
Happy Big 5-0, my brother.
Thank you, sir.
Love you.
Marvin
Bye,
Samo.
Thank you, Marvin.
Thanks, Marvin.
Former cigar industry icon, now filmmaker. Talk about a career jump.
Not bad.
I kind of see that transition though. It's kind of like the same like kind of vibe. Maybe not everybody's smoking cigars.
No, you just get giddy anything movie-ish or anytime you get giddy.
Yeah, my failed acting career.
I tell you what, it was very interesting being on the set for a day.
I bet.
And just watching the process. My favorite part was when Judd Hirsch's cell phone went off during a scene while they were filming in his pocket. And then like he's pissed at the people, not like he just held up everything. You know, it's very funny.
It's interesting to see.
Judd Hirsch is a little curmudgeon-y.
You know, it's cool to see it like actually come to fruition. I remember, I mean, that was what, over a year ago?
Long time ago, yeah.
And
what year ago? That was before COVID.
Cigar guy's making a movie. You think like, I don't know what he's doing. And I mean, this is, it is a real deal. You didn't just grab a bunch of people off the sidewalk in Miami to shoot a movie. I mean, this is real deal movie. Should be cool.
No,
yeah, that's cool.
It was. I tell you, who was very cool was Sean Astin, who plays Marvin. He's a cigar guy. He likes cigars. He sat. He talked with us. He was actually kind enough and did a video for us for the Great Smoke last year for the digital experience. Wished us, well and good luck on the thing. So it's gonna be very cool. I'm kind of excited to go down. It's gonna be my first movie premiere. I don't know if there's a red carpet, if there are people walking down. I'm not sure what to expect. It's pretty excited. And
you're VIP, so you'll probably walk up and they'll give you a glass of champagne immediately.
Well, I think everybody who's in the movie is VIP. I think
that's awesome, man. That's gonna be a real cool experience. I can't wait to see pictures.
The one thing that people will never stop hearing is how Eric Espinosa pretty much got blocked out of a whole scene. Like literally, Jeff Borshwitz blocked Eric Espinosa out of a whole scene. So. Anyways, that being said, very cool guest today for our Meet Your Makers. I think we may have had him on once during the course of KMA. Oh, I also forgot to tell Marvin. Marvin, if you're still watching, Marvin was we used to have a segment called Are You Smarter Than a Stripper? And Marvin was the first guest who lost to the stripper.
Really?
Yes. We actually had a girl who came in and was super knowledgeable about stuff, and it used to be a little 10-question trivia thing we used to do on Saturday mornings. And,
I gotta go and look it up now.
Yeah, I think Marvin was the first guest that ever lost to the stripper. And Are You Smarter Than a Stripper?
Well, because Steve Saka lost to them once too, but we kind of set him up for that.
Yeah, didn't you rig that one?
Yeah, maybe.
Were you around when we were doing Are You Smarter Than a Stripper?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've been around. This is my 5th season, maybe now.
Wow. All right.
I think I was technically around before Alex was an employee. Actually, is that possible? Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's my first time having these guys on the show, so I'm excited. You want to go right into Meet Your Maker?
Yeah, let's get our Meet Your Maker segment.
I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell.
It's time to meet your maker.
And here they are joining us on KMA Talk Radio. We have John Huber and Mike Conder of Crowned Heads. Welcome to the show, guys.
Gents, how are you doing? Having us. Good morning.
Happy New Year, fellas. Good to see you. Our first show of KMA of 2022. What a double tag team we got going on today.
Seriously.
I'm sitting here trying to think of what the movie of my life would be. So far, it's not so exciting, to be honest with you.
I tell you what, man, I think a lot of people probably think about, one day I'm going to write a book or make a movie, or a lot of people got great stories, but to actually do it, man, I got to commend him, man. I know he'd been working on it for a long time, so I'm kind of actually excited to see this thing. I got to read the manuscript early on, but reading something and seeing it in action is completely different. So kind of excited to see this thing finally come to fruition. It'll be fun.
Yeah, he's got legit actors too. I mean,
yeah.
Hats off to him. That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
I'm kind of feeling Caddyshack for me, but who could play me? I don't know. I guess Kevin Costner seems to be pretty hot right now in Yellowstone. That would work, wouldn't it?
Just watched the season. The new season just finished.
Unfortunately, I'll get typecast with Rick Moranis playing me.
Somebody would probably
other choice.
John would probably say it should be Billy Bob Thornton. I seem to hear that one a lot for some reason, or maybe Jeff Goldblum.
You know what? Not looking at the screen and just listening to you, you do sound like Billy Bob Thornton. You do.
Maybe I should do the whole show this way today. It's Billy Bob.
And we could get Matt. We could get Matt Booth to play John.
Oh yeah, no, that is good.
Who?
So we could get Matt Booth to play John.
Oh God.
Oh God is right. Yeah. That would be.
So guys, it's been a long time since you've been on KMA. So how many years now is since you guys started Crowned Heads?
10.
Let's leave this to John because he probably knows not only the years, he probably knows the days if you were to ask him.
No,
He's very OCD on this kind of thing.
Very much so. We announced it in February of 11, but we didn't start shipping till November of 11. So I guess we just completed our 10-year run.
Wow.
So, yeah. And we're still here. So go figure.
Yeah. Amazing.
And it's a success story in itself, I suppose. But yeah, no, I remember it was when we were on, Abe. It was probably like 9 years ago, to be honest with you. It was about 9 years.
Wow.
We had them on early on when they started.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. And it was audio only at that time.
Yep.
Yeah. So
okay. Wait a minute, are we on video somewhere? Somebody can see me?
Yeah, they will.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
You didn't read the release?
Did you cover the bald
spot? I should have shaved this morning, for goodness sakes.
So 10 years, guys. Seriously, I mean that's a hell of a milestone. What were some of the biggest hurdles you guys really went through over the 10 years? I mean, outside of obviously COVID and that and how that's affected you guys. I mean, what were some of the things that you didn't expect to go through?
Well, I'll jump in here and tell you that COVID, even though it seems like it would have been a hurdle to jump over for us, we were a pandemic winner. I think like probably most everybody in the cigar industry. There's so many places now to sit around your house and have a cigar with your buddies because you're not in a restaurant, you're out on the patio smoking. I mean, that's been fantastic. When I think about the hurdles, I go back to the beginning of, how do we get product? I mean, really, that's where it started. We spent a lot of time thinking about who we wanted to partner with from a manufacturing standpoint, and how to get over the first hump of orders. How do you sustain the company for really, I think, John, if you think about it, was about 10 months, as you just outlined there, between the time we announced the company and the time we actually started shipping product. How do you get through that 10 months without revenue while you're trying to do all the right things along the way?
Now, a lot of our fans may not know a lot of the in-depth history, whatever, but what is Crowned Heads? What's the origin of the name?
Oh, Wizard of Oz. That was it in a nutshell. Like one of the things that Mike and I, we first started talking about this legit in December of 10. So on the 21st, we had our first meeting about it. And then one of the things I was tasked with was come up with the name of the company that would be. And I would write down all these names and send them to Mike. Some of them he liked and I didn't, and vice versa. And some that we both liked that the attorneys didn't like. So long story short, I was watching Wizard of Oz on an iPad one day, and there's a scene in the beginning of the movie. Before it goes to full color, it says on the side of a caravan, Professor Marvel, Crowned Heads of Europe, past, present, future. I screenshotted it. I texted it to Mike. I said, Crowned Heads. And he said, yeah, I like that. I said, I do too. And the attorney liked it. So
I never knew that, actually. I don't know if we ever
asked did, because you asked me that 9 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. It must have slipped my mind. I can't imagine we didn't ask that 9 years ago, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What's funny is everybody says, oh, it must be Conder and Huber. It must be all these things that, it must have something to do with cigars, heads on cigars and caps and that, But yeah, none of that. That all seems clever, but
I wish it was that clever. It was by happenstance. It really was, and it worked out really well. The one thing I personally wanted something that was vague enough that it kind of allowed us to have some creative latitude to go into other arenas if we so chose to do. So it wasn't about like, Conder Huber Cigar Company or CH or HC or whatever. I wanted it to be like people would ask the question, what is Crowned Heads? Because now we can go, if we wanted to, we can go Crowned Heads Spirits, we can go Crowned Heads Coffee, we can go Crowned Heads whatever. So it's got a nice ring to it.
Do you guys have any plans on branching out on the brand?
None whatsoever. we're still trying to figure out the cigar thing, man. Are you kidding me?
I've only got 40 years into this. Sooner or later, I'm going to figure out, how to pull the right buttons on some of these things.
Wait,
the right levers, I mean, yeah.
How many years, Mike?
I don't know. Well, I started my first 20 years with General Cigar, and that started in 1980. So I'm 42 years in. I hate to say.
Wait, how
He
old?
Started when he was 6.
Yeah, I started really young.
Yeah, when he was
Really
6.
young.
I was going to say you're well preserved.
Well, this is part of the app that we're using here today.
He's got that filter on it.
15 years, yeah. The filter, yeah.
He's got that auto-tune face filter on it.
I'm a solid. I had my 50th a year and a half ago, Abe. So congratulations. You're coming up right behind me there.
I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Rick Yoss, I am smoking a Las Calaveras. This is my first cigar back in 2 weeks. We are smoking Las Calaveras is from our rare and vintage room. Alex, is this a 2014 release?
14 original.
This is a 2014 original release, boys.
Again, my favorite cigar in the entire vintage room.
Does it have any gas left in the tank?
It tastes phenomenal.
It really does.
Great. Yeah, that's the screenshot I sent them.
Oh, wow.
That's
Crown
cool.
Heads of Europe, past president. Yep.
Hey, John, do we have any 2014s in the archives in the office left?
I think we have like a box of Robustos that have dust all over them. They're still sealed. But I mean,
Still sealed,
you know what? Now, if I smoke a 14 now, it's because somebody gifted it to me.
Yeah.
Somebody will send it to me or bring it to me or whatever, but those have been long gone.
Well, let me tell you something. Next time you boys are in Florida, we have a couple 14s with your name on them.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. 3 sizes.
What do those things retail for these days? Do they get a vintage pricing on them?
Oh, yeah.
It's a gift with purchase program.
Yeah. Everything in the vintage room is vintage priced.
Excellent.
We had to sit on that stuff for a long time.
That is a long time.
That's the hardest thing about the vintage room. It's really funny because I always, tell people I really prefer that nothing in there really sells. It's too hard to replace it. True. We have to think ahead. Anytime there's limited stuff that comes up, we box them and we save them. We have to put them away for 4 or 5 years. And, I like to think of it as fixtures. Like, let's make it look nice and hopefully nobody buys anything, but they buy stuff out of there.
There you go.
Well, that's part of the allure of it, I guess. But so you guys both go back to, did you meet working together at CAO?
Yes.
Is that how you met?
No, we actually met on Tinder.
But there was no Tinder back then.
I don't think there was Tinder back then. That's
there was not.
Yeah, we met. We worked together at CAO starting in maybe that was around.
When was it?
I think it was around 2002 because I left General right after, not long after 9/11. I think I left there in early 2002 and, started quote consulting for CAO, which lasted for 10 years, right. Not long after that.
And how long were you there for, John?
At CAO?
Yeah.
I started April 15th, 1996.
Here we go with the dates again.
I just remember these things. And last day was December 17th, 2010. So whatever that is.
I don't know if John
Go ahead.
I don't know if John will tell you the story, but I'll start the story. John got hired at CAO by Jono Osgener, may he rest in peace, as kind of in the shipping department. I think maybe he was actually
I was the shipping department.
Okay, yeah, he was coined the worst shipping manager we ever had. So we have to move him somewhere else. He does have a passion for the business, but it can't be in shipping. So I
had to get my foot in there somehow. Yeah. I did. I literally wrote a letter begging for a job. I wrote letters to everybody. In fact, nobody would hire me, not even a local retail tobacconist. And then John, oh God bless him, actually took a chance on me. And he said, all I need right now is a shipping manager. I said, I'll be the best shipping manager ever. Just give me a shot. And that got my foot in the door. So and after that, I kind of behind the scenes was doing stuff to promote the company. And it's a long, boring story about getting on the radio and doing spots and then all this stuff. And within 5 months, I was promoted to director of promotions and PR, which led to, it was just like on and on and on.
So Jono's deal was this: he loved titles, and he loved them in lieu of money. So
yes,
let's say he hired Jon. He hired Jon.
I gotta try that.
The quote shipping manager, and in 1996, that job might have paid $18,000. I have no idea. It was, I guarantee you, it was on the cheap. And then, as Jon says, 5 months later, he's the director of something, but he's still making $18,000.
Let me put it this way. Fast forward, I was probably the lowest paid chief marketing officer in the cigar business at one point, because he gave me this title. I'm like, oh, I like that title. And then it was like, I think I was making like 40 grand or something like that, or I don't know. But it was fun. We had good times, man. That was a good time in my life.
Wow. So what's a day in the life for you guys in running Crowned Heads? Yeah.
Wow. This is going to be a big difference.
You don't want my day.
Jon and I.
You don't want.
That's what I'm asking. What's a typical Crowned Head day for you guys?
You want to go first, Jon? I'll go first. Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
right now, So since the pandemic, we have not been in. We're not always in the same building every day, because I spend some of my time in a place other than Nashville. So my day, starts because we're empty nesters now.
It's like those old professional wrestling things where they announce the masked wrestler from Parts Unknown. That's like Mike. He's like coming from Parts Unknown, Mike.
Exactly.
In an undisclosed location.
Just to say the sun is out most days, but so I get up in the morning and I make a cup of coffee, very quiet around here. I get the Wall Street Journal. That's the only news. I cannot take watching news on TV anymore. So the only news I get is the Wall Street Journal, and I read it cover to cover every day, 5 days a week.
Wow.
So I start my day like that, and then it eases into I get on a Zoom call. Maybe I have a cigar while I'm sitting outside on a Zoom call. We go back and forth with the guys. One thing I will tell you, I'm going to veer off a little bit about the pandemic is, everybody says, oh gosh, it must be tough to keep all your guys together and working on the same path. But we have literally had a Zoom call with everybody in the company every day since the pandemic started, every workday.
Really?
Which seems crazy, but it started in the beginning because we said, I can remember saying to Jon, hey, you know what? Let's say this is March of 2020 or February of 2020. And I'm saying,
March.
yeah, this thing's probably going to last a couple of weeks, guys. So let's all just bat our ashes down 2 or 3 weeks. We'll have a Zoom call every day. We'll talk about what everybody's trying to work on in the background, blah, 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 that type of thing. Well, honestly, obviously it's at some level, it's still going on. But we've learned that the Zoom call for, especially the sales guys who live around the country, it's been a pretty good team building exercise. I don't want to plug Zoom too much here, but we've gotten a lot out of it and it's worked. And I kind of feel like our group is closer now than before, which seems a little bit oxymoronic there. But anyway, so that my day leads up to that, Jon and I will get on a call and talk about, sometimes Jon in the office, chain smoking cigars. If I talk to him at 3 p.m, he said I'm on my 5th or 6th cigar, gives me the lowdown on what he's smoking, that kind of thing. Jon could never leave, by the way, because I don't know how he could afford the cigar habit. If he got out of the business, it would be difficult. But so our days are quite a bit different. Jon is just
to reflect
Jon's
how
still got a
boutique.
young. What's that?
Sorry. No, just to reflect how boutique you guys really are. When you say we get everybody on Zoom, how many people are we talking about here?
Yeah, like 8, 9 people.
8, 9.
That's how boutique. I mean, so you guys started out boutique, and you guys are really like still. I mean, majorly a boutique company. How many sticks is the company putting out a year, roughly?
Well, we can tell you that, but then we'd have to shoot everybody on the call. It's
All right, so let's put it this way. In your opinion,
I'll phrase it back to you, Abe. What do you define as boutique?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you guys.
Is it like a vibe or is it a quantity?
Look, it's a term that's so used throughout the industry.
Overused.
So I'm not even sure what the real definition of boutique was. I think Drew State's still calling themselves a boutique cigar company. So,
Exactly.
I get lost, but I mean, I think a lot of times the consumers don't realize the size differentiation between companies. I mean, look, we've had that with my company. Like a lot of people think that we're the size of some of these major companies, and we're not even in the same, stratosphere, same atmosphere as some of these major companies. So in your guys' opinion, this is a great question. What would you guys? I mean, do you like the label being a boutique cigar company? Because I hear it all the time when I hear your company's name. Is that something you guys like?
I mean, for me personally, it doesn't matter either way. What bucket people need to put us in. I mean, I just, you know, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's just I agree with you in that I think it's overused. I think the term doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, I think the last true boutique company to come on the forefront was 2003, and that was when Pete started Tatuai. Ever since then, everything else has been a Me Too. I don't really think there is a boutique cigar company. I mean, now to me, boutique is like, you know, a little like store on Calle Ocho or something, maybe rolling, you know, 100 cigars a day. That's boutique. But I think when you get to a certain level where you're employing 8 or 9 people, you know, and everybody's in house, it's kind of hard to say, oh, we're boutique. And when we do a limited edition, quote unquote, that goes north of 130,000 cigars, that's kind of hard to call boutique.
True.
You know what I mean? So but if people feel better, like putting us in that category, in that bucket, then so be it. It doesn't really matter, but I just think it's overused.
Yeah, I'm like you, John. I don't really think too much about it anyway, but there is, if you're looking for a comparison, I mean, so back to Abe's point about being the size of, you know, some of the big guys on your part of in what you guys do, Abe, you know, whoever that would be out there, the JRs and CIs, those kind of guys. I mean, we are not in the category of the guys that you would know on the other end of our business. I mean, throw Rocky out there. I mean, Rocky at one point was a boutique company at one point, but I mean, those guys are a major economic force now, you know, with their size. So it is, if you're looking for a descriptor, I like to, you know, kind of compare our stuff to the bourbon industry, because I've gotten into that a little bit during the pandemic. And, you know, there's something, I think for a consumer, there is something interesting about what smaller companies are doing, and, you know, things that aren't out there in mass quantities. And so, yeah, we've definitely gotten bigger than, you know, what you would say we were doing from the standpoint of units and so forth through the first 10 years. But it's still pretty small when you think about other industries, or even you think about the big players, I mean, there's a lot of them in our industry. Everybody knows who they are. You know, it's pretty small.
Now, I heard there's a great story behind how La Coalition got named.
There is?
That's what I was told. There's a great story about the naming of La Coalition. Do either of you two know that story, or am I missing?
I don't know that story, and I kind of threw the name out there, so I'd love to hear the story.
Paul.
Yeah, me too, to be honest with you. I think how do you pronounce it? John, what is the correct pronunciation of that, by the way?
La Coalición.
Thank you. Just want to get that right.
Do you say it that way, Mike?
He does.
Listen.
Yeah.
Me, no. Abe, you and I are on the same page, but that doesn't mean it's right, okay?
The coalition.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that cigar we did with Drew Estate? Oh, that one, yeah. What do we need to order on that one? Yeah. La Coalición. No, I honestly, I don't know that there is a really interesting story.
I literally just got a message on my phone saying that there's a great story about the naming of La Coalition.
Yeah, you know what? In all fairness, I may have forgotten it, but
listen, if the message came from Willie Herrera, then tell us what it is. Otherwise, I'm not sure. Who would know?
Willie did like that. That was the only other name he
called
liked.
Hot Chicken.
Oh, that story. Yes, there is a good story about that.
Aha.
Yeah. Oh no,
is that really true? Hot Chicken?
No. Back up. We had been dancing around doing something together with Drew Estate for years, literally for years. Jonathan was trying to get Willie and I together. He was going to do this thing called B-sides, all this. And so fast forward to like 2015, 16, talks got a little bit more serious. And literally, like, we would have a meeting at the trade show at the PCA. That would be like hours long. We'd get nowhere. And then the next year we talk a little bit more. So finally we get to a point where we say, okay, we're going to do something. It's going to be a collaborative type of a thing. We're sitting in their little super secret, like offsite kind of trade show booth area where, like, with their marketing people and stuff. And there was a marketing guy in there from Drew Estate. and I won't mention his name, but he was an interesting cat, and he goes, okay, I know what we're gonna do. I got the name. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is how he's pitching it. Everything was like, are you ready? Are you ready? He's like looking around like he's got, you know, the cure to cancer he's about to drop on the table. And he says, hot chicken. And Willie and I are sitting across the table from each other, and we just looked at each other, and I'm like, seriously? I'm like, nah, that's not gonna happen. It's not. No. And he's pitching why he believes it should be called hot chicken. I said, no. No, thank you. Yeah, this is the same guy that also suggested they send Willie and I up to a cabin in Gatlinburg together for like a week to get off site, to go fishing and smoke cigars. And
think about those
and again,
two guys
we
fishing in a cabin.
Yeah, so we
like a bonding trip.
Like, yeah, it was like it's like Brokeback Mountain or something. I'm not.
Yeah, you guys it could have been like, let's look at each other's tattoos, then we'll go fishing. I mean, that would
we were just like, no, we got wives and families, and we prefer not to do that. And
Willie's a big dude to be locked in a cabin somewhere.
He's a great guy. Willie and I were friends for years before we did La Coalición, but and that's why it went so seamlessly. I think it's like once we got through the red tape of figuring out who was going to do what and what all that stuff and working together, then the rest of it was very organically. It's just he and I just, you know, were off to the races, and it was very easy for us. Similar palettes, similar style, similar, like, you know, Vitolas we preferred, similar blends we preferred. And, you know, once they let us go, we were off to the races fairly quickly.
Now, you guys work with some pretty reputable, renowned manufacturers to make your blends. Ernesto Perez Carrillo, my father. How did because obviously even now today they're still having some supply issues. How did COVID really affect you guys, being that other people were making your cigars? Did you guys go through a lot of inventory shortages like everybody else?
Yeah, we did. Listen, we went through a period where, for the most part, if we could make it, we could sell it. You know, it really got down to that. I mean, it felt like the boom of, you know, 96 or 97.
97. You're old enough to remember.
Oh, I was in the middle of the one in 97. Yeah. Believe me. But yeah, so we had the same problems everybody had, you know, but we got guys that we worked with for a long time. The people that you mentioned, I mean, we've been with Ernie since he produced the very first product. So, you know, he's one of our, you know, obviously everybody calls him the Godfather, but we call him our Padrino. He's certainly that for us. And they did everything they could do to try to keep us in the mix. Obviously, they have had a couple number ones and a number two in the last 3 or 4 years on CA ratings. So they've had some explosive demand for their products as well. But they've been very fair with us. Same thing with my father, and now with Tabacalera Pichardo, where we're doing a lot of products. So we've worked our way through it, but it's not been a smooth and seamless kind of deal. I can tell you that.
Well, we got to take a short break. I want to talk a little bit about the Tabacalera Pichardo, Ace Prime, some of the other stuff you guys got going on. We also have the As the Record Spin segments, where we have a question for the both of you from our good friend Eddie Guerra over at Avo Cigars. And in hour 2, we have the finale. I guess season 3 is the finale of the Tape season 3. We are going to find out what the number one mafia movie is of all time, according to the GOAT and William Cooper. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back right after this.
Surgeon General warning: cigar smoking can cause cancers of the mouth and throat, even if you do not inhale. Without this rich and profound history, it only makes sense to showcase one of their popular cigars after Mr. Henry Clay. Receiving a top 10 spot in Cigar Aficionado's top 25 cigars, the Henry Clay Warhawk has top-notch construction while boasting with complex flavors. Cloaked in an Ecuadorian Connecticut shade wrapper with a Connecticut broadleaf binder and a Nicaraguan Criollo fillers, this medium to full-body smoke has flavor notes of toasted almonds, earth, and a peppery finish that pairs nicely with a lemonade. It is available in 3 sizes: Corona, Robusto, and Toro. If you're looking for a cigar that has an abundance of flavor and history, then this 95-rated Henry Clay Warhawk is the cigar for you. Surgeon General warning: cigar smoking can cause cancers of the mouth and throat, even if you do not inhale.
Honest Abe here, smoking cigars. It's that time of year again, the Great Smoke. For over a decade and a half, we've been hosting one of the country's biggest cigar bashes, where aficionados from all over the world would trek to South Florida for a 4-day extravaganza. In 2019, we themed our event for the first time, 70s disco, Can You Dig It? And it was one of the biggest events we ever had, and we look forward to the very next one. Unfortunately, the world was hit by a pandemic, and cigar events and functions were being canceled all over the country. Our team was poised with the question, what do we do? Do we cancel the event? Do we do a half-cocked event and just get by? No. Instead, we put on our thinking caps and put on one of the most epic 7-hour virtual events that was enjoyed by thousands and viewed by tens of thousands of people all over the world. Our event in 2021, the digital experience, forever changed how these types of events will be done. So this year, for the first time in 2022, the Great Smoke, the Last Luau, will be both an in-live and virtual event experience. We had hundreds of people who contacted us early this year telling us how much they enjoyed our virtual event this year, how they had never participated in one of these mega events because they were unable to take time off for work and travel and come down. So this year, we're going out of our way so that people can enjoy the event in their own home as they did earlier this year, and also do it in live. Michael Herklotz of Ferio Tego Cigars and Kim Keeney will be returning in 2022 to reprise their roles as co-hosts for the Great Smoke. As we did earlier this year for the first time, we have worked with select manufacturers to make very limited TGS releases. We got Aganor Salif, Espinosa Cigars, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, Room 101, and ADV Cigars. They will each be making a very limited run of TGS edition cigars, exclusively to ticket holders for the Great Smoke. There will be a series of special virtual events between the end of November and the beginning of February, where all these TGS limited releases will be offered prior to the Great Smoke event. So you will need to get your ticket in advance to be eligible to get into the very special TGS virtual store to participate in these events prior to the Great Smoke date. As always this year, we're going to have a very special dinner hosted by the Red Meat Lovers Club and special guest Steve Saka from Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. This is going to be a last luau feast like you've never seen before, and all attendees will get a very limited RML, it's Red Meat Lovers cigar, made by Steve Saka just for this event. So what do you have to do to participate? Go to thegreatsmoke.com, secure your ticket, which will get you the last luau party back. Now, whether you're virtual or coming live, everyone will get the same epic package. This is the most epic Great Smoke package we've ever made in the history of this event. Almost $450 worth of swag and 40 premium cigars that'll either be delivered to your door or handed to you the day of the event. As always, during the Great Smoke, we'll have mega raffles and prizes, and whether you're at home or there live in person, everyone who gets a ticket is automatically entered. The event dates are February 24th through February 27th, with the main event being February 26th. And whether you're there in person or live watching at home, we're going to have 5 special virtual sessions and interaction with what's going on in the event floor, so you can actually see what people and what things are going on as the event is happening. Tickets go on sale this Friday, November 12th, noon Eastern Standard Time. I urge everyone out there to get their tickets early. They'll let you participate in all the pre-virtual events we're going to have with the manufacturers who made limited releases, and it'll secure your ticket, because our feeling this will be the most epic year ever as far as ticket sales and how fast they'll go. To get your tickets and for more information, go to www.thegreatsmoke.com. The last luau, baby, because this will be the last luau you'll ever need to go to. Peace!
You got me. This is kind of where I come to take my breaks to get away from Honest Abe. The solitude in this room is amazing. A great cigar, a great glass of wine from our friends at Bonner Private Wines. You know, right now, Bonner Private Wines has a 3-pack sampler of Malbecs that you should really check out. You know, some of the vineyards are so high that the grapes are under so much stress that the fruit is filled with so much flavor. There's no additives to it. It goes great with a nice cigar. An Argentinian Malbec, the original strand of Malbec. And listen, we can give you a deal. We got.
Oh, sorry. I just got your text. I apologize. I hope I didn't leave you waiting.
I mean,
but you've been in here a while, if you can.
No, thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Don't worry. It's just it's medical. It's medical. See, you can try this sampler. It's great. Please take my word for it. Go to KMAWines.com. You'll get a discount on shipping. You'll get a discount on the package. And then you'll even get a discount if you like it on the Wine of the Month Club. And there's other packages that you can buy. But our friends at Bonner Private Wines, they make a great glass of wine. It really is awesome. And KMA listeners get the discount. So why not try it out? What are you doing? You've been waiting for a new commercial? I've been hiding out in here. Someone put a camera in here. Let's go. KMAWines.com. I'll be back in a few minutes, Abe. But guys, seriously, can we get a courtesy flush or something in here? Jesus, people, they're ridiculous. Animals.
Welcome back, everybody. Listen, Paul, I want to get some Bonner wines. I want to do a giveaway on KMA. Get us some wines from them.
Okay.
I want to get it out there. Let's do a little giveaway this year. Give away some Bonner wine.
We're gonna have them on the show eventually too.
Oh, you've only been saying that for 2 years, but yeah. Sure.
Well, it's not me that's holding it up. It's not me that's holding it up. But we'll talk after the show.
Alex, you wanted to say something.
Alex, you're muted.
Well, you fucking muted me, Paul.
Yeah, because you were echoing before.
Yeah. You know that part in the TGS commercial in the end, the video, the time has come to unite again?
Yeah.
We did that the week before the TGS 2021 event. That's how long.
That end part was the teaser that we made for the digital experience a year ago.
I mean, that was done before we pulled off 2021.
Literally.
You should give me just that end part.
Hey, look, we're excited. We're coming down to the home stretch. I'll be remiss to say anybody out there, because the virtual tickets had sold out so fast. We put the last block up. We definitely will not be putting up more virtual tickets. So if you haven't gotten a virtual ticket, now's your opportunity while they're up, while they're still around. If you're coming in person, there are still plenty of tickets, and you can take your time and get them. But if you are attending from your own home or wherever you're at, or doing a watch party, grab your virtual tickets. And coming up this Wednesday is our third TGS release. So we've had 2 so far. We've had the Aganorsa Anniversario, and we had the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, the X78. And this will be released this Wednesday.
Oh, I saw that one. That one looks cool. The diet.
Yes, I mean, Sarsaparilla was a big hit. It was a project with the Dojo guys and Espinosa Cigars. One of their really probably most popular projects. It has to be one of their top ones, I believe. So they have made a Connecticut version of it. This is a very limited product, 500. Now, I just found out from Eric Espinosa. He called me the other day to find out if this is going to be a problem. I told him no. But they rushed us this pack so we could do videos and marketing, and they're actually putting together the rest of the packages right now so we can have them on time to start shipping them on Thursday after our virtual event. The virtual event will be this Wednesday live, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. During that broadcast, we'll have the Dojo guys on, Eric Espinosa. This product will go live. To be able to buy this product, you have to have a great smoke ticket, either virtual or live. And by doing so, you'll have access to the special TGS store where all these limited releases exist. So, but Eric called me, and I guess this brown paper that they packed this in did not arrive and didn't come in time. So it's actually going to come in a white pack. So pack may look a little different, but very interesting.
Like a diet can.
Yeah, very interesting blend, and it'll be cool to see this come to fruition. So
and listen, I'm just throwing it out there. There's under 100 virtual tickets left, and we sold over 100 virtual tickets this week. So you don't have much time, because when they're gone, there literally is no more room to push any virtual tickets. Just saying, there's under 100 left, so you might want to get on it.
No pressure.
No pressure. All right. That being said, we discussed all that. Let's get our hosts back on. Our guests back on. So we have a very special segment we start at the top of every hour, guys. It's called As the Record Spins by Avo Cigars. And our good friend Eddie Guerra every week poses a special question for our guests. So let's run with that clip, Paul. Here he goes. Listen, I just gotta say, guys, if you do have that box of Robustos, I would crack that puppy open.
Take it.
Listen, if you don't want it, send it here because this sucker's amazing. I don't smoke really much of anything out of our rare and vintage room. I mean, stuff like I literally saved for our patrons, so it's kind of stupid for me to smoke them. But being I hadn't had a cigar for 2 weeks, our first show of the year, I just thought this would be proper. But stellar.
Did you guys keep the 15s or 16s or any of the years past 14? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, but some of them sold out. So that's the thing when you do that. Some years sell better than others. Some we still have. Everything in that room is limited. It's only like 1 or 2 cigars per person because we don't want somebody coming and clearing out a whole shelf. We'd rather as many different people get a chance to try to get some of that cool stuff than just one guy hoarding it, because we definitely have guys who will come in and clear out a whole shelf if we let them. So, or
they can come in a different outfit, like buy 2, come back in like with a mustache on.
It's
per
more visit, and obviously we do have those guys when we get certain stuff in. They will come in every day to get their 1 or 2, and
there you go.
But yeah, we just want to spread it around, literally. So
here's my problem. I'm a little bit sad. I'm going to be sad. We're on the show smoking this. I've said it before that this is my favorite cigar in the vintage room.
You just killed it.
Yeah, we got about 1,000 people coming here in a month. It's over. It's over for this cigar.
You just killed it. No, he killed it.
It's done.
Because not everybody goes in there, so not everybody knows what's in there. So yeah, we just killed it, probably.
Yeah, it's done. I'm gonna have to grab some.
All right, guys.
You've got buy now.
Right.
So I'll let you guys attack this question any way you want. And it's actually a great question for you guys, especially with where you're at and your backgrounds. But here's the question from our good friend Eddie Guerra of Avo Cigars. If you could only listen to music from one band or musician for the rest of your life,
here we go.
Who would it be and why?
Here we go. So listen, I'm going to set this up. I'm going to go back to John's OCD. I cannot believe this is the question. It's almost like a setup and somebody fed you this. Maybe they did.
Well, I don't even have an answer to the question. I was just like,
I know, but I'm going
to
tell you my answer for you, because one of the reasons that I like to work remote is because John has some quirks that if you're sitting across from him, and we have kind of a partner desk set up, so we're looking at each other, and we can. I've got
twice
a coffee
a year.
mug. Yeah, I got a coffee mug that says the guy sitting across from me is an asshole, that kind of thing. We're that close. John goes through these phases where he will get onto a song, and then he will start boiling a song down to 15 or 20 seconds. Could you mute John while I tell the story? So then he likes 15 or 20 seconds of a song, and he figures, the kids don't know how to do this. He's got that on a repeat, and it runs, and it runs, and it runs until the point where the other people in the room, you can't take it anymore. It's just like, it's enough already. I mean, and there are a few cigars that in our world are, let's say, sonically inspired, going all the way back to Headley Grange when we were in our first office, and John was playing this loop of When the Levee Breaks by Led Zeppelin, just like a 10-second piece of it. So, 6 seconds. There you go, right?
6
I've
seconds.
heard it 10,000 times. So this is a great question. It's one that's probably a little point of condition. What is the word I'm looking for? Contention between John and I here. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Contention. So I'm going to let John answer the question, and I do have an answer to the question, but I'm going to let you go.
No, you answer the question. I don't even have an answer.
To.
I'm just like, no, none of the music question.
You got to pick one. If you had to, pick
no.
one,
Listen, if I had to pick one, I would go to Tom Petty. First of all, I had to pick one. I mean, of all the guys, John, you and I talked about this. Of all the music legends that have died over the last, I don't know, let's say maybe 6, 7, 8 years, that's the one that, for me, kind of hit me the hardest. Just I'm not saying I sat around and upset about it. I'm saying it's the one that really affected me the most. And it's like a cliche. It's so overused. This kind of soundtrack of your youth. But for me, Petty was a little bit of that. So if I were stuck somewhere, I would be very tempted to say I would go with Tom Petty. There's a handful of songs. I mean, there's a couple albums that are just fantastic, start to finish. But that's probably where I would go.
Well, I got to tell you, Tom Petty's one of my all-time favorites. I was a Petty fan when he was with the Heartbreakers, when he went solo with the Traveling Wilburys. I kind of pretty much loved everything he did. So
he's got a great discography.
I can't.
Wildflowers, even Wildflowers was great.
Can't say much about that. John, how about you, buddy?
I'm gonna have to default to I'm not gonna answer it just because there's just so much stuff that I listen to that changes on a daily basis depending on my mood and my inspiration. There's no way I could pick one thing add into my life.
What about right now?
I can't.
I just won't. Have to. The world is coming to an end.
The world is coming to an end. The last thing on my mind is music.
Hey, pretty girl.
Gosh, I don't know. Say hi.
Hi.
And what's your name?
What's your name? What's your name?
AJ.
Well, you got to tell Abe what your name is.
AJ.
AJ.
Is that? Oh, okay.
Nothing to do with Fernandez. So just to make that abundantly clear. I really couldn't answer that question. I just thought, I don't know, honey.
Story of our lives over here, John. Don't worry, I get it all day here. Mine are out.
This is why my day and Mike's days are a little bit different. They look a little different. So,
when your day is starting, my day starting with the Manhattan when we get to that stage. Slightly different.
Yeah.
I will, John. I'm going to defend you on this. I will tell you this: any single day you go into the office, it could be old school hip hop, it could be rap, it could be classical, it could be jazz.
It's all over the board.
Rock and roll.
If you look,
it is true.
All right, so here's my question, then. Mike. The end of the world is coming. You're allotted one musician. Who would you you had to pick for John? Who would you pick?
Oh, for John. Golly, it'd probably be somebody. It is tough, but might be some old school kind of hip hop Beastie Boys kind of thing.
Ooh.
John could be like Jay-Z.
Close?
I mean, if I was going to go that route, I'd probably say Jay-Z. That's probably what I would listen to the most in that genre. But then, I mean, I'll listen to everything, man. Mozart, Coltrane. I'll go to Jane's Addiction. I'll go to the Beatles, the Stones. I'll go to Led Zeppelin. I'm all Travis Scott. I'm all over the board. It's just impossible for me to say that I would go to just this one particular thing. And especially cause some of our stuff is sonically inspired. And then I tend to go down that rabbit hole and I burn it out so much that I can never go back down that hole again. It's just to this day, I very seldom listen to Kings of Leon or Led Zeppelin or, Johnny Cash. I mean, I tend to burn myself out on those things.
Wow.
For the sake of the project.
Although Johnny Cash is I can't believe you're saying that about Cash. He's a little bit of our patron saint, being that it's.
No, he is. He's in our office. I see that guy every day.
8 foot by 10 foot of him is looking at you as you're sitting at your desk every day.
I literally see Johnny. I see Johnny more than I see Mike.
Yeah. Johnny Cash, the only musician I will ever karaoke if I have to karaoke.
Oh yeah.
The only.
See, now that's interesting to me.
I've done it. If I ever put in a position where I have to karaoke somewhere, or I'm challenged, that's the only.
Ring of Fire, right? Is that where you go first?
Ring of Fire, Folsom Prison. I mean, it's the only one I will attempt to even karaoke.
Wow. Okay.
That's it.
How about you, Abe? Can you pick one? So Eddie, we ran out of Eddie questions, so I wrote this, but obviously knowing Crowned Heads and a little bit of research.
It's okay.
I knew
Inside job.
that this would be a difficult question for you guys. So that's why we like to pick these philosophical ones that kind of
This
like
is
make
actually
you think.
the last episode of As the Record Spins. We will have a new audio
segment
starting next week, a new themed for this year. So it'll be exciting. We're working on the intro for it now, and hopefully we'll have it up by. So you guys were actually the last guests to do the As the Record Spins.
And we never pick a question that we won't answer ourselves, even though
let's
we
hear
may
it.
reluctantly answer it. So go ahead, Abe. What would you pick?
Honestly, if there's one, it's really funny because I've always been a fan, and my wife really got into it probably in the last year or two. I mean, we saw a concert a few years back, but she's really gotten into it. And now my kids are into it. My two oldest girls are very into them. And I just don't think I'll ever get tired of listening to Pink Floyd.
Okay, I could see that.
I could listen to Pink Floyd hours on end. We've let it just run in the house. And I mean, it's really hard, but it's just one that if I look throughout my life, going all the way back to high school, that still finds its way to play regularly in my life, it's probably Pink Floyd.
Huh. I can't imagine only listening to that forever, though.
I mean, realistically, you can't really imagine listening to any one thing forever. But if I if I look back in my life, that's the one band that constantly now is, especially now that it's bled into my wife and my two oldest girls, is just constantly being played.
Mine's obvious. Everybody knows what mine would be, I'm assuming.
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel, 100%. I know the every lyric to every song. It was part of my childhood. I'm a Long Island boy.
I give you a lot of respect just for having the courage to say that.
Oh, do I have it? I didn't hang it up yet. So I have a new office. So I have a picture of him that he signed from. I guess I didn't hang it up yet, but I have a picture of him that'll be hanging in here. It'll be the only music thing other than a Disney album that somebody gave me. But what Alex is the one I'm really curious about as well.
So the question is, give me the question again.
One musician that you can only listen to for the rest of your life.
All right, for the rest of my life. Not I'm like dying soon or
no.
I mean, I'm a hip hop kid. I'm probably going like Biggie Smalls.
Okay.
You know.
Born in 1972.
Abe has been on a tear of 1972 facts lately.
Because what happened was, for my birthday party, they made a poster of all things 1972. So
he's just been throwing it out. Yesterday, we were talking chess, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Bobby Fischer, Boris Spassky, 1972."
That's the year Bobby Fischer beat Boris Spassky in chess. It's the first year the Price is Right. Bob Barker ever aired the first episode of Price is Right. I got all the facts.
Wow.
1972. All right. So back to our guests. A question for you guys. So TPE is coming up at the end of the month. Do you guys go to the TPE?
We do.
You do. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have the trade show. I'm curious, for a company your size. Obviously, last year was the first trade show in its smaller format and everything. Do you find that it was more beneficial for a company your size, that smaller format for the trade show? I mean, do you feel it was more advantageous for crowned heads?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we had a record trade show, so I mean, to start with that, we did more business at the trade show.
Your booth was very, very busy. In fact, I think you and I might try to get together once or twice. We couldn't even meet up during the show.
Yeah, it was. We were pretty much jammed start to finish. So yeah, for us, it was a good show. I felt like the size of the show was pretty conducive to the amount of retailers there, and it just worked. It was. There's no question it was a little condensed, but maybe a little more focused. And I think that the people that came to the show, obviously they were coming off of a year being, kind of isolated. So they were looking to interact with everybody out there. And I think it worked, it's size wise, it was good. And we, like you say, we were busy the entire time. So I like the size. I think, before it had gotten a little big where, it just felt, I don't want to say impersonal, but, things spread out a little bit too far. So, yeah.
I've always had an argument there's definitely a detriment, I had believed, as the footprint kept expanding to being hard to create any kind of positive energy. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a glass of water. If you have a glass of water, it's very sound, but if you just pour it on a desktop and it just spreads, I mean, there's no functionality to it anymore. And I think it had gotten to that point where it really kind of just needed to get pruned down, because it's very hard to kind of build up any kind of energy or feel or even kind of just like a presence when everything was so spread out, because it really had gotten enormously huge. And especially the years where they were having the vape and the hookah companies in, holy cow, man, you needed like I literally needed like a cart or something just to get around. The show floor had gotten so big.
Yeah, we feel the same way. It's the reason we've kept our booth relatively small over the years, because we like that. We like to create that exact same feel inside our own little space there. So I think you're exactly right.
It's an optical illusion. So if you keep the booth 10 by 10, you get 20 people in there. It looks like you're like doing crazy business. And so everybody thinks, oh, Crown Heads was very busy. So smoke and mirrors.
I think one of the things I noticed is you could have not gone down, probably about 3-4 years ago, you could have not gone down parts of the trade show floor in 4 days completely and have avoided it. And I think this past year, there was really no way you really kind of at some point hit every corner, whether it was just walking around or getting from A to B, you kind of really hit every corner of the trade show floor, which I think is better for exhibitors. So, I mean, we actually stopped and saw people that we probably never would have stopped and talked to in the smaller format. So
it makes it harder to avoid people, though. If you're trying to avoid people,
it does make it harder to avoid people. It does.
Abe, I've got a question for you on that same front. You guys just earlier were talking about during the commercials, talking about the virtual versus the in-person for the event coming up. How do you see that rolling out? Are there more people that really want to engage with you guys virtually, and what do you think that means for the future? Because that rolls on to a lot of what we all do.
So one thing for us, COVID, especially for me personally, was almost a kind of, I kind of call it like a little renaissance period for me. It really changed on how we interact and how we reached out with our base and how we've connected with our fans and friends all over the country. And I don't think, for us as far as events, we had some epic historical virtual events during COVID, but we also went really out of our way not to truly try and make them stand out from anybody else doing that kind of stuff, whether it be how we give away the events or prizes. We also spend a little more time in production value. I mean, this is the first time you guys probably have seen how KMA looks, and you can see it. We try to make it somewhat have a level of production that's clean and entertaining and has a good visual experience. So
as best I can do.
As best you can do.
As best we can pay for.
So for us, the main difference really came down to how many people that can be involved and reached, and the door that opened to us virtually. And we've got a lot of praise by some of the stuff we've done over the last couple of years. And I don't see that changing because, look, Alex will tell you, we are doubly ahead of where we normally are in live ticket sales. So this year, 100% is going to sell out. In fact, taking some live, we put up more virtual tickets for the Great Smoke coming up in February. We only have so many packages, so we literally had to take away from live ticket sales what was left of there and move that over. But one of the things that really we got bombarded with, Mike, was emails from people who said, look, we don't live anywhere near where these kind of mega multi-vendor crazy events happen. We can't take time off of work. We can't, travel and spend the money to come down to an event. So please, we hope you continue to do these virtual events. So that was one of our biggest tasks, because we knew the Great Smoke was always going to come back to a live physical event. That was never going to go away for us, because the production value and what we do, it's hard to say we're not going to do that anymore, because that's really the major excitement. But we were definitely poised to say, hey, look, we're going to make extra packages this year. And it was a hard year to ask manufacturers for more cigars. As you guys know, man, it's everybody's still having production and shortages and issues. So it was really nice for the manufacturers to step up and allow us to get more cigars for this event. And we allocated a chunk of them to people virtually, and it sold out. So, I mean, that tells you right there, Mike. I mean, people are there's I don't think it'll ever go back from not. I think as a retailer, anybody who's watching this as a retailer or whatever, if you don't find a way to connect virtually with your consumers, you're really missing out on a lot of interaction and just emotions with your base. So I don't think we'll ever go back to not having a virtual component to the Great Smoke. Our big task was, last year was all on a set. And I don't know if you guys saw any parts of it, but it was all on a set and it was flat and it was easy. This year, it's kind of like we have a studio and then we have a live. So there's going to be a lot of going back and forth. And our challenge is we want to make sure or do the best we can so that the people who are home enjoying it or wherever they're at, their friend's house, wherever, can somewhat feel like they're actually there. But I don't see it. I think the people who will continue to grow and connect with their consumers are the people who really kind of embrace this now virtual side. I mean, look, somebody was asking me the other day, I think it was Marvin, actually. Marvin thought he was going to come up to go to a studio because the last time we did KMA, we were doing it in a studio. We haven't been in a studio since iHeartMedia kicked us out during COVID. I mean, they literally called us on a Wednesday and said, you can't come to the building Saturday. I don't think we're ever going to go back to a studio. I mean, the format of our show has evolved. We've got the production value, so it doesn't look so flat or plain. We got good intros and videos to incorporate the quality of production. But now, what are the odds I'm going to get you or John here or together or down here or one of you on a Saturday where we could have you on KMA? Now we could have guests on anytime we want as long as they got a phone or a laptop and they're willing to, hop on a Saturday morning. It's made so much easier for us to get in guests. So yeah, I don't see it going back. I mean, I'd feel bad for anybody who thinks it's just going to go back to normal. And I think there's parts of society in the world that's just never going to go back to normal.
It has helped us immensely.
Normal. That's what it is.
It has helped us immensely with guests too, though. I mean, was Carlito ever on the show before, Abe?
Early on, when we were like an hour-long show.
But now he really doesn't spend a lot of time here, so it's hard. I mean, when he is here, he's jam-packed. He doesn't have 2 hours to give to us when he's here. If we had to bring him into a studio, we had him virtually. People in different. I mean, we've had several guests in different countries at this point, and the quality is there. I mean, what Alito was on the show virtually. AJ was on the show. Like we've had it. It has helped us, in all honesty.
I mean,
it's going to be interesting to see how the hybrid works for the people that are actually live. Will they interact at all with the virtual consumers at the Great Smoke, or just you guys?
The people at home will be watching it like they're watching the New Year's Eve, Seacrest show. They'll just be watching it. There'll be some social media components where they could probably interact a little bit, but they'll just be watching it. Michael Herklotz is coming down and co-hosting again, which is, honestly for us, one of the biggest assets of the virtual component. He's the immaculate host. But, last year was very simple because we had a set and there were no hard breaks. So if we went long, we went long. We cut short somewhere else. It just flowed organically. This year being that there's going to be live components, whether it be the fire dancers or the drum players or the hula, there's live performances, interactions. Everything has to be timed better because it's going to go from, if you're at home watching, it's going to go from Michael Herklotz to something going on at an event floor, and then back to Michael Herklotz and back to, event floor. And in fact, Paul's one of our floor correspondents, him and the beautiful Kim Keeney. I mean, we literally, if you want to talk about beauty, we went in the two furthest opposite parts of the spectrum between Kim and Paul.
I need to get her the matching. She can have the beauty one. I'll have
yes. But they'll be basically our floor correspondents with remote camera guys, and Michael will be going back and forth with them to broadcast what's going on live on the floor. So, look, we like to continue to challenge ourselves. So, I mean, last year was a challenge within itself. And after the feedback and the response, we just had to figure out a way to try to incorporate doing both this year. And once again, it's just a matter of reach. We're going to reach about 500 people who can't make it down or can't come down or would never be able to come down, and they'll be able to participate virtually. So I just think as the future moves on, it's just going to be a matter of the logistics of limiting the amount of packages and how many packages we can make annually and how many we can pack and ship out. But we're excited about this year. We're excited to see how it goes. I mean, look, for us, when we constantly do this thing, it's like doing it again for the first time. So I think it's going to be well received. Look, it all comes down to what the final execution is going to be. And, I hate technology because it's like hostage, Something goes down on a broadcast, it's like we have no control of it. So that's always my fear in stuff like this. But, after last year and doing what we did, and last year we couldn't do it at the fairgrounds. So we were at a American Polish club that they made a beautiful set, but they don't have, it's a volunteer place. And, they don't have resources. The fairgrounds got everything because, you need special Wi-Fi. You need a whole lot of stuff. Last year we had to pay $4,000 for 1 day of Wi-Fi.
Wow.
For the broadcast. Yeah. So crazy stuff, but exciting. And we hope to make a little bit of a history again.
Yep. Interesting. For sure.
The weighing in happens before the dinner. So look, that being said, guys, anything you could share with our fans, some cool stuff you guys are working on this year. Tell us a little bit about Ace Prime and the relationship you guys have, because that was a new experience for me at the trade show when I came to your booth, learning about them and your relationship with them. Tell our fans a little bit about what's that company.
John, you want to jump in on that one?
I will, but I'm going to preface it by saying that I just got the thing on my phone that says I got 10% power left on my battery. I was hoping to get my laptop here, but that didn't happen because I'll show you guys. We are actually literally, if you can see that, we're snowed in.
Oh, wow.
So
I do not miss that weather, brother.
Yikes.
Yeah. So I wasn't able to get back to the office last 2 days. So I'm going off of the cell phone. I got 10% left. So let me answer your question quickly. In 2017, we were at the trade show, speaking of the trade show, and our national sales manager, we had just hired Miguel Chodel, wanted to make an introduction. Some guy wanted to give us samples, and that's part and parcel of the trade show. You network, you get samples, and most of the time you just shake hands. Thank you so much. Da, 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 da. Well, these particular samples look very good, very promising, and I remember next morning at the trade show floor, I smoked it, one of them, and I was like, wow, this is really good. But the question always becomes, is this just like a one-shot thing, or can they make this on a regular basis? So we took a meeting, we met them, we met Luciano, we met Radio Pichardo, and that was the introduction. That's how it all started in July of 17. And then our first foray with them actually became Juarez. And the way Juarez came into play was we had, or still do, have a German distributor, and they wanted us to do a private label for them. And I was sending them blends back and forth, and they every one of them thumbs down. I said, what is it that you guys are looking for? And they said, we'd like something similar to Jericho Hill. I said, okay. So I go back to Luciano and say, hey, if you want to work with us, here's your chance. Can you do a riff on this blend? So they send me some blends, and I pick one of them, and it becomes what ultimately became Juarez. But ironically, Germany passed on it. They said, no, this is no good. Okay, great, fine.
Wow.
So I put Germany on the back burner. Now Mike comes to me and says, hey, Thompson Cigar, if you guys remember them, catalog, wants us to do a catalog exclusive. Do you have anything that might fit the bill? And I said, yeah, I've got this blend that I think is exceptional that we can probably put in there. We did, gave it to them. They sat on it for like the better part of a year. We go to the trade show in 19, and literally at the 11th hour, I said, let's bring Juarez to the trade show and let's start selling it. And we had no marketing collateral. We had nothing. I said, I told the sales guys, give a sample to your retailer and tell them, see what they think, and then take an order. And we just went off like gangbusters. So that's how it all got started, really, was with Juarez. And then we've been working on that first sample I told you I smoked back in 17, ultimately became Mil Diaz after a lot of twists and turns. And Did I lose you guys?
For a second.
There you go.
You're back. So is there anything, Mike, that you could share with our listeners going into 2022? Any cool projects or stuff that you want to promote or bring some attention to?
We're actually working. Obviously, we're like everybody. We're working on what the year looks like from the standpoint of launches at the trade show and so forth. None of that stuff is really put to bed. I mean, it's we're going to have some, like always. We'll have a few LEs that will come out between here and summertime. I think this would be for John. I don't know if he's still on there or not, but I think we've finalized the blend for Las Calaveras for 2022. And that's in production, so that will be something exciting for the new year. That probably will be available sometime, in that kind of May, June format. Usually is when that comes out. So for us, it's really that's kind of where we are at the stage. A lot of development stuff going on, laying out the factory plans for this year and getting ready for what will come mid-year.
Cool. All right. Well, listen, it's that time every week where we bring in our KMA contributor to find out what's going on in the cigar industry. It's time for the Scoop with Coop.
Hey, yo, what's my theme music?
The Scoop with Coop. Breaking industry news. Hear it first on KMA Talk Radio and cigar-coop.com.
Koopa.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good to see you guys.
What's going on, buddy? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It seems like it's forever. How are you feeling? And happy birthday, by the way.
Feeling very good, and thank you very much, pal. I appreciate it.
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the 5L Club.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not sure it's that celebratory of a moment, but yeah, we are there.
Hey, Mike, how's it going today? Good morning.
He might not have heard you. That was to you, Mike. Oh, he might be on mute.
I'm working. Listen, at our house, we have a new puppy since Christmas, and he's going crazy in the other part of the house. So I thought you guys could hear it. I muted myself. I'm doing great, Coop. Nice to see you.
Good. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Mike.
So, Coop, what is the scoop, buddy?
All right. It's been a few weeks, but there's some stories that kind of happened at the end of the year and the beginning of this year. And the first one I have is from early this year. Actually, this year. It was like one of the worst kept secrets, I think, out there. But there was today we got word this week that there is a cigar line coming from Espinosa being done with Guy Fieri called the Knuckle Sandwich. It's actually a two blend line consisting of a natural and an oscuro. And Knuckle Sandwich is the name, from what I understand, of Guy Fieri's lifestyle brand. And Eric Espinosa and Guy Fieri have been running around together for the better part of the past year. They've been all over social media. So, like I said, it really wasn't a surprise. He was at the virtual Lazona Palooza. So I think folks knew this was coming. This is going to be, from what I understand, a regular production line coming into play. And you'll see these cigars probably towards the end of February. They'll be available in three sizes: Corona Gorda, Robusto, and Toro. And so something interesting. And that packaging looked really nice when I started seeing the cigars pop up this week. They look really nice on there.
I'm sharing the stick right now.
Yeah, he was here. I actually got to smoke both this week, and both really good cigars. So
yeah,
Paul must be petting the dog or something because he can't change the camera angles.
No, I'm trying to download your picture, and then Coop sent pictures at the same time.
Oh, there you go.
So that's it. He kind of did this retailer swing through South Florida, which, again, when you start dealing with the celebrities, and I've dealt with some celebrities, Paul, you've dealt with them. The cigar world's very different for them, so to speak. So that's highly unusual to see a guy like a Guy Fieri go around from retail shop to retail shop like he did over the last week.
Well, I'll tell you something, Alex. I'll tell you, we were his first stop that day. They were here like at 9 a.m. He spent at least a couple hours here.
Yeah.
Super down to earth guy. He actually FaceTimed with my daughter and invited her out to, what his show broadcast in April. Because Petra's such a foodie, we were talking about it. But he is very much committed to the not just the brand of the cigar, but the lifestyle. He's an avid cigar guy. He just bought a home here in Lake Worth, Florida, and he's trying to maneuver because he is the featured chef at the Food and Wine Festival that's in Miami, the day of the Great Smoke. And he's actually maneuvering to try to make an early guest appearance to spend some time with the people coming down for the Great Smoke and then get to Miami in time. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, he's still working on it, but he doesn't have this disconnect or like, I want to be in the cigar community from far away. He seems to be very committed to being involved in the community. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. The cigar was fantastic.
Everyone I've talked to who've had the cigar has been saying rave reviews on this cigar. So Hector and Eric and the team did a great job on that.
Yeah. So no, Tim, it's not a limited run. It's going to be a regular production project. I mean, they did some limited releases of it, but it's launching in 2 wrappers in full production.
Yep. So like I said, end of February, which is right around Great Smoke time, you should start seeing these, hopefully.
Yep. I think we may have some for the Great Smoke.
There you go.
What else you got going on, Coop?
If you're a Davidoff fan, the first Davidoff release of 2022 has been announced. Paul, these are the pictures I just sent you too. It's called the Davidoff Winston Churchill Limited Edition 2022. Yep. So they've been Winston Churchill the last couple of years. Actually, this is the 4th time they've done a limited edition. They tend to do these at the beginning of the year to kick things off. What's kind of different about this cigar in the Winston Churchill line is it's a Perfecto. So they haven't done a Perfecto since they've rebranded the Winston Churchill line. So it's something really cool that you'll see there. It's an unusual size. It's like a 5 7/8 by 61. So it's not your like regular size Perfecto. Davidoff saying the cigar combines a lot of the elements of the core Davidoff Winston Churchill line and the late hour Winston Churchill line, which is pretty cool. The other thing is that they're releasing a special cutter, which I thought the cutter was really cool looking. It's a cutter that looks like Winston Churchill's pocket watch. So that there it is. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I don't have pricing on that, unfortunately, but I looked at that. I'm like, that is really cool. That's something different there. It
won't be cheap.
I know it won't be cheap. Neither will that Perfecto. I think that's going to be plus $30 from what I don't have a final price on that, but that's what I've seen. It's going to be. It looks like. So, and then the box itself, I didn't send Paul the box picture. The box is meant to look like Winston Churchill's briefcase. So I think pretty exciting. Winston Churchill's been a pretty good, I think, Davidoff line over the past few years. I think that's going to sell really well.
Awesome. Anything else going on?
Couple of other just notes I'll make. Altadis announced a new H. Upmann cigar with AJ Fernandez, the H. Upmann Nicaragua AJ Fernandez Heritage. That's a cigar that is going to be what I'll just go through quick. Brazilian Matafina wrapper, and it's a cigar that's going to make its debut at the TPA trade show in Las Vegas. So they'll be showcasing that. You'll also see kind of under Tabacalera USA. They have a couple of releases that they're going to be distributing through Santa Clara. There's the Monte Cristo Volume 2 Rendezvous and the a new Rocky Patel Freedom Maduro. So Freedom is a line that was around for Rocky Patel for a long time, and Santa Clara is distributing that, so you'll see those 2 cigars as well.
All right. Does that wrap it up for the week?
Yep, that wraps up for a week.
All right. Anybody wants to catch more news, please visit cigar-coop.com. Always rumor and teaser free. All right. We'll look cool all day.
Hey, wait, Coop, quickly, Coop. If you had to pick one band, because you have that jukebox show, if you had to pick one band or musician to listen to for the rest of your life, who would it be?
Well, now I got to say Cheap Trick, right? Because his son's on our team. Rick Nielsen, the founder of Cheap Trick's son's on our team. And I will say that because I always love Cheap Trick.
In typical Coop cop-out fashion.
Yeah. But the band probably listen to the rest of my life is In Excess, the Australian band.
Oh, wow.
Just love that band. I was a fan of that band before they hit it big, and was heartbroken when lead singer Michael Hutchence died. It was the saddest day of like a celebrity dying for me. So yeah.
Had some deaths this week. Celebrity deaths: John Madden and Betty White.
Yeah, I saw that.
Betty White died 3 days short of her 100th birthday. But in her sleep, if you're gonna go, man, that's the way to go.
Oh yeah.
Well, yesterday, Sidney Poitier.
Oh,
yes,
hear that.
He died yesterday. That's right. I was trying to remember. I knew it was somebody.
I actually did not know he was still alive.
I didn't know he was 94. I was surprised he was 94.
Huh. Well, listen, let's stop beating around the bush here because you boys have a big day today.
Yep.
This is a big moment in the show, a big moment in this segment. Abe, you ready to hit the tail of the tape, the finale?
Let's see the tail of the tape, season 3, the season finale.
All right, here we go. Season finale, #1 mafia movie of all time. I'm going to jump right into it. For me, it is Casino. Casino, in a nutshell, is take the entire cast of Goodfellas, add people like Sharon Stone and the great Don Rickles, and throw them all in Vegas. Just a great movie. Tells true story of the mob, basically at their biggest in Vegas, and pretty much how they fucked it all up. Great movie, full of one-liners, full of great scenes. Long movie, which I personally enjoy longer movies, but definitely my #1 pick, and I'll discuss it later, but I would remiss if I didn't mention that this didn't even make Coop's top 10 list. Go ahead, Coop. You're muted.
All right. I had to unmute twice. Mine is The Godfather. That is, I think, the movie that you measure all mafia movies under. Look, it's a great story. It's the story of an aging Don, and then who's going to take over for him. There's just some iconic characters in that movie, all the way from the Don Vito Corleone character to Sonny to Mo Green to Fredo. I mean, you have it all there. The scene at the toll booth, in my opinion, is one of the greatest movie scenes of all time. It's kind of, the impulsive Sonny trying to go get revenge, and he gets blown off, unfortunately. But just an amazing movie. I don't get tired of watching that movie.
No, absolutely. I mean, listen, even though it's #3 on my list, my son is literally named after Sonny and the Godfather. So
a great name. I have an expression, Alex. My friend Tony told me this expression with that toll booth scene. He told me, he said, "Don't be impulsive. Don't be like Sonny, because Sonny was impulsive and he got blown away at the toll booth." He goes, "Be patient like Michael, and you'll live a long life." So I kind of lived my life to that.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, cool. But let's get into it. How does Casino not even make your list?
I'm going to tell you how Casino doesn't make his
Joe Pesci. I know how. He hates Joe Pesci.
No, screw that. Pull up the list. Paul. So I got to tell you, Alex, I'm pretty on point with you. Love all your picks. But I got to tell you, you got 3 Godfathers in your top 10.
There's 3 movies, but there's 3 movies.
Top out.
That's why I combined one and
the best Godfather. You put that in the top 10. How did the fact that Casino didn't make your top 10? Have you seen the movie?
I have seen a movie, and you know what? It's out. It was out, and it's probably one I can make an argument. Man, I fucked that one up. So I'm not even going to argue that. I was thinking that because I messaged Alex on that one. I'm like, I knew I had messed this one up, and I knew what his #1 was going to be. But I mean, it's kind of in that really 6 to 10 range for me.
We just watched this on accident. It was just on last week. My wife and I ended up watching it. It's one of those movies that if you're flipping through the thing and it comes on, you get
always
watching it.
Had I combined the Godfathers like Alex did, it would have been on there, and I didn't.
Well, you could have that was, or you could have removed the non-mob movie Scarface.
Well, you guys want to say, but it is a great movie. It's one that is a glaring omission on my list. I ain't even gonna argue it. Fantastic movie. I mean, that movie's been out for about 25 years because I remember seeing it in the theater. Yeah. So
I mean, Don Rickles in that movie.
Oh my God, he's amazing.
In a mob movie.
My father's a huge Don Rickles fan, so I've watched this movie with him as well. And he just really appreciates it.
I never got to watch them live, but I remember when being up at 3 a.m. There was like these infomercials on of the old roasts.
Yeah,
and like he was like the king. He was the best.
His
was.
stand up is amazing. The guy's a legend.
You know, again, back to my dad, he normally would not go to a live concert, many live concerts or comedians. But when we got him Don Rickles tickets, that was the one thing he just couldn't wait to go. He was a huge Don Rickles fan, my dad.
I don't know if you saw the comments, but Marcus Wood just confused Lefty Rosenthal with Lou Rothman. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Lou Rothman now is a point splicer. That's actually very, very funny. First off, I got to see Don Rickles live at the Kravitz Center down here. It was cool. Great show. For whatever reason, the scene that sticks out to me the most of Don Rickles, because if you watch it, it's such a weird face he makes. But when Joe Pesci is having his hissy fit at the casino playing blackjack, losing tens of thousands of dollars, and he's throwing the cards, and then he beats Don Rickles up with the phone, and Don Rickles is face down. Right before the scene cuts, he rolls over, and look at the face he makes. He's like, it's so fucking funny. I don't know if he was trying to be funny or what, but if you watch that scene, look at the face that Don Rickles makes when he rolls over. It's such an odd face. It's not a face he'd have. It was such a
I think I got it.
Look, you're laughing. It's such a weird, and it struck me the day I saw the movie, and every time I watch the movie, I look for that scene because it's just such a weird rollover shot.
Yep. Good old Joe Pesci disrespecting Don Rickles.
Yeah, look at that. And right before that, he's face down, and he rolls over and makes that face like at the last minute, right before the scene cuts. It's so funny.
Look at him. He's old there, and that was 25 years ago.
Yeah, Don Rickles only died like about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he lived a very full life. I mean, I think he lived into his 90s.
That's cracking me up right now.
All right, in our traditional fashion, let's wind up these 2 hours in the same way we do almost every week with this week and 2022's first edition of Cigar Insane Asylum.
Welcome to the Cigar Asylum,
Did you know I'm utterly insane? We all go a little mad sometimes.
where logic and reason cease to exist.
By the way, Alex, I don't know if you noticed Nate Walker's comment in the comments.
I didn't see it.
So I have to apologize in advance because I did not prep or read this. So here we go.
You want me to read it?
No, I'll read it.
Okay.
Here we go in this week. I just don't know if it's any good. So here's this week's edition of the Cigar and Sale Asylum. This week's inductee is taking marketing skills to a whole new level. A UK-based bachelor so desperate to find a partner, he spent several £100s on multiple billboards in an attempt to get the word out. Save me from an arranged marriage, read a giant 20-foot ad of the 29-year-old Mohammed Malik, currently up on at least 3 billboards across Birmingham. The posters also feature the website Malik set up for internet that leads on love. FindMalikAwife.com. That is pretty freaking funny. Hi, I'm Malik. You may see my face on a billboard somewhere. The consultant's website, that's what I guess greets visitors to his website. I'm 29 and live in La Vida, London. I'm an entrepreneur and a foodie, and I'm religious. His current loves include food, quality conversation, and learning about his faith. We should see if we can set him up with the brewmeister. Wow. I'm looking for someone who's working on her deen. Is that religion? That's religion.
Yeah, it's a Muslim term.
That's the Arabic word for religion.
Well,
I guess that after.
I guess that's one way to stand out in front of a crowd to find your partner. Congratulations, Mohammed. You are this week's inductee in the Cigar Insane.
Look at his position. Look at it. He should have used this.
Yes, he would have been better off. He would have been better off. Mike, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you,
know
Mike.
you guys don't do a lot of interviews and broadcasts. Thank you for coming on. Please send our regards to John. We understand his phone died. I've been on the other end of that situation.
No, we're glad to be here. It was fun to spend a Saturday with you guys. And listen, 10 years of it, we appreciate your support down there.
Absolutely.
Look forward to more of it.
Looking forward to a great year with you guys. Looking forward to it. And Coop, once again, thank you for your contribution this week. Always a pleasure. You guys will be working on what you're going to do for season 4. That'll come out in 2 weeks. We'll start season 4 of Tail of the Tape. Find out what hopefully next week we'll announce what the new season will be. Other than that, we wish everybody a happy and healthy 2022 new year. We hope to spend a lot more Saturdays with you in the upcoming year. Until then, until next week, keep it lit.